Join me on Entrada as we tango our way through the streets of Buenos Aires. I'll explore the birthplace of the famous dance, visit with an artist for whom it's an inspiration, watch the pros in action, and take a lesson myself. Hola, I'm Roanna, and this is where the dance began. The tango was born in the vibrant neighborhoods of Buenos Aires in the 1900s. Once forbidden, this pas de deux spoke of fatality, sorrow, and frustrated love. Today, the daring art form lives on and has been reinvented as the dance of romance and high society in this fabulous city. Argentina, South America's second largest country, shares a border with Chile to the west. The sophisticated capital, Buenos Aires, sits midway along South America's Atlantic coast. The city is made up of distinct, colorful neighborhoods like San Telmo and La Boca, the birthplace of the tango. I'll explore the past, present, and future of this fiery dance, take a tango lesson, and cook an Argentinian dish with a French twist in one of the city's finest restaurants. And of course, I'll tango my way through the streets of Buenos Aires. But first, La Boca, one of the city's most vibrant barrios. This harbor neighborhood is the place where a lot of European immigrants docked and where many stayed, too poor to move on. The story goes that they built their homes out of bits and pieces of boats, and that explains the bright, colorful patchwork that defines the area. Today, locals and tourists alike flock to the streets of La Boca to celebrate the neighborhood's colorful, rich history.
No traje nada para mostrar.
We're here in La Boca in Buenos Aires. Incredible. Checking out art, and this is my friend Jorge Musia, who is a famous painter of filetes artes and catching tango dancers in action. And this is a beautiful day. Qué lindo todo, ¿no? La pintura y todo. ¿Qué tipo de pintura es esto?
Estos son trabajos al óleo.
Jorge shows me the tango paintings that sell by the dozens here daily. That's because this neighborhood, together with San Telmo, is the birthplace of the famous dance. It couldn't be a nicer day to explore La Boca's many sights. All of Argentina's national passions are represented here. Soccer, mate, and of course, tango. We move on to the Caminito, La Boca's heart and soul. It's a pretty square filled with people enjoying its quaint charms. The sounds of tango music fill the air. Next, we walk to San Telmo with its colonial buildings, cobblestone streets, and narrow sidewalks. Crowds gather every weekend for San Telmo's famous flea market, where you can find exotic curios from across Argentina. As I wander down these streets, I can feel the neighborhood's rich history. The area is full of antique shops, traditional bars, gorgeous outdoor cafes, and really beautiful historic architecture. But it's more than that. It's the lure of the tango, and I found it, alive and well in San Telmo. This couple is just one of many who come to the Feria San Telmo every Sunday to dance in front of an admiring crowd. The tango is enjoying a renaissance in Argentina, and it shows. Today, tango is considered a ballroom dance, but it didn't start out that way. It was born in the brothel, where new immigrants from Africa and Europe gathered in the evenings to drown their sorrows and find friendship. Since these new arrivals didn't share the same language, it was music and dance that brought them together as a way of expressing their loneliness and despair. All it took was one little taste of tango, and I'm famished. Jorge suggests a stop at a popular local spot.
Jorge, ¿qué estamos comiendo aquí? What are we eating here?
Meat, of course. Choripan, a spicy pork sausage.
Now, this is the chimichurri sauce that they eat here in Argentina on every kind of meat possible. Bueno, and it looks like it's made with oregano, red chili peppers, and a lot of garlic and oil. Bueno, lo ponemos arriba.
Es muy picante, ojo.
I was just told that it's very spicy, not to put a lot on.
Si lo come el
Voy a
hombre,
dar esto. I'm gonna give this to Jorge.
si lo come el hombre es un problema,
Riquísimo. Delicious. Gracias por el tour. Thank you for the tour, Jorge. Todo bien. Y me encantaría ver tus pinturas.
Bueno, pasa después por mi estudio.
See? Bueno, I'm going to go to Nectarine to start cooking the meal, and later we're going to go to Jorge's studio to see his paintings. Up next on Entrada, Argentinian cuisine with a French accent. It was only after French high society gave their enthusiastic approval to the tango that Argentina's upper class began to embrace it. So it seems fitting that I'm cooking Argentine fusion with the hot new chef at one of the city's best French restaurants. Hola, Juan Pedro. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien.
Are we ready to eat? ¿Vamos a comer ya?
No, todavía
Just
no.
in time for dinner, no?
No.
¿Por qué lo has hecho así? Why did you make it already?
Para que se pueda entender un poquito mejor el plato.
Bueno, Juan Pedro feels that if he's already made the plate and put it together, we can show you step by step the finalized plate, and then we'll show you how to make everything. Bueno, ¿qué tenemos aquí? Let's look at the plate.
Magret de pato,
This is a breast of duck.
fileteado.
Bueno.
Esto es el confit de pato con la compota.
A sandwich of puff pastry made with the confit of duck and plums.
Esto es unas zanahorias rellenas.
A stuffed carrot with green peas tied with a stem of green onion.
Finalmente unas batatas con naranja.
Bueno, and a sweet batata, sweet potato, with orange in between. ¡Qué lindo! Ay, tengo hambre.
Sabor.
¿Es seguro que no podemos comer
No,
ahora?
todavía no.
You sure we can't eat now? Okay, la primera etapa sería...
Sería deshuesar el pato.
Bueno, step one is to remove the breast from the duck.
Bueno, vamos a comenzar por a deshuesar la pechuga del pato.
Bueno,
¿sí? Digamos
perfecto.
el magret. Vamos a bajar por el hueso.
Take the bone and slice down the center of
Hasta
the
el final.
duck.
Hasta el final.
Keep slicing between the meat and the bone, and this way it fillets the meat right off.
Final.
And open it
Lo
up.
voy a girar.
Bueno, perfecto. Muy bien. At the same time, you'll also be removing the other parts of the duck to make the confit. Step number 2, the duck confit, which means curing the duck. It's done by taking the legs, placing them in a fridge, covered with coarse salt and thyme. Y después lo ponemos aquí, ¿sí? It is then placed in a saucepan, covered with liquefied duck fat. ¿Todo?
Todo.
And cooks over the stove. ¿Por cuánto tiempo lo cocinamos?
Unas 4 horas más o menos.
It cooks for 3 to 4 hours at a low heat. And you'll know when it's ready when the meat separates from the bone easily. And this is what it looks like. Time for step number 3, the fruit compote of prune and orange, which is served between the batata and the puff pastry. Both fruits are sliced, placed in different saucepans with sugar and water. The plum has anise added to it and cooks for 3 hours. The oranges cook for 8 hours. Simmer at a low heat and you'll know when it's ready when the sauce thickens. Step number 4, cooking the batata or sweet potato. Bueno, ¿cómo se hace?
Vamos a cortar unas batatas en rodajas.
Muy bien. With a round cutter,
Vamos a un cortante. Hacer fuerza hacia abajo.
cut a piece out.
Y sacar la...
Ay, qué lindo. I guess you could also choose any different shape of cutter. That would be fun.
Ok.
¿Y después qué haces con esto?
Las vamos a servir durante unos 5 minutos en agua con sal.
This will now boil for 5 minutes with salt. And this is what it looks like. Sí. Así son suaves, ¿ah?
Suaves.
They're tender now. ¿Y qué es esto? What's
Esto es
this?
un jugo de naranja reducido.
This is an orange juice reduction. Muy bien. ¿Y cocinas esto
Esto
adentro?
acá vamos a hacer una caramelización durante unos 5 minutos.
It caramelizes in the reduction for 5 minutes. While all the ingredients are cooking, Juan Pedro has offered to finish the final preparation for the recipe, and I'm going for my tango lesson. Voy a aprender cómo bailar el tango.
Oh, fantástico.
¿Sabes cómo hacerlo?
No, ¿me puedes enseñar?
¿Seguro? I'm going to come back and teach him how to do it as well. Bueno, nos vemos prontísimo.
Bueno, bárbaro.
El Viejo Almacén is one of the oldest tango houses in Argentina. The building itself is over 2 centuries old, and the tango has been danced here since the early 1900s. Today, it's an historic site, the Temple of Tango, and only the greatest perform here. Milena and Ezekiel are 2 of Argentina's top dancers, and their excitement for the dance is contagious. The tango is irresistible, telling as it does the universal story of the heart-wrenching final duel between 2 star-crossed lovers. ¡Bravo! ¡Fenomenal! ¡Bravo! ¡Qué lindo!
Okay, Joanna, are you ready for your lesson?
Yeah, okay. Sure, I'm ready.
I want to show you the basic step of the tango that is called ocho, that means 8.
Okay.
Just so that
Okay, just el 8.
it's like drawing an 8 in the floor.
Figure 8.
Yes. So just try that, okay?
Okay, we start this way right now.
Learning the tango takes a lot of concentration and coordination. But with a wonderful partner like Ezekiel and with a little encouragement from Milena, it takes the edge off my nervousness.
Pam, pam. Very good. You are a natural dancer. Good, very good.
Okay, we're going to show you a simple sequence.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Cross and 8, 8, okay. Pam, pam. Ooh la la.
Good?
Oh, yes,
Here?
yes. Like that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, very good.
Up next on Entrada, the fine art of filete porteño. Now it's time to visit Jorge at his studio in San Telmo. I'm looking forward to seeing his work. It's been exhibited all over Europe. He's won tons of awards, and it's all about tango.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿cómo andas?
Muy bien, sí. Jorge, qué divino.
¿Está?
Mira el color. This is beautiful. Este es el filete
Este es el filete porteño.
porteño. Súper lindo. Jorge, yo conozco a esa mujer. I know that woman. ¿Quién es?
Milena.
No me digas. That's Milena the tango dancer.
Jorge is in fact the unofficial ambassador of the filete art form, introduced to Buenos Aires by European immigrants. It soon came to define the city's ornamental style. It's also come to define the tango and vice versa, for a very good reason.
Porque nacen en Buenos Aires en la misma época y forman parte del mismo espíritu
They were
del
born at the same
porteño.
time. The art forms, both art forms, were born at the same time, and they share the same spirit here in Buenos Aires.
For years, both were considered common, even vulgar, by the elite, who only adopted them once they were renowned abroad. But they have always survived hand in hand. Filete literally means thread. That's because the art is characterized by fine lines. It's traditionally done with lettering brushes and enamel paint diluted with thinner or turpentine. The result is distinctively Argentine, a colorful and somewhat nostalgic art form. But Jorge's work also looks forward. He's planning an enormous filete project on the obelisk dedicated to tango singer Carlos Gardel, which he hopes will get the go-ahead soon.
When are they going to do this?
Bueno, yo espero que en este siglo.
Bueno, he hopes it's going to happen in this century when he's still alive and he can do it. Mucha suerte, Jorge, y gracias por el tour.
Bueno,
Oh,
bienvenida siempre.
this
y
is
espero
such
que-
an honor, my goodness.
Up next on Entrada, the romance of tango by night. From Jorge's studio, I find my way back to the restaurant to put the finishing touches on dinner.
Hola, Juan Pedro.
Hola,
Bueno, bailamos poquito, ¿eh?
Un poquito.
Se hace
Ahí está.
así. Tum, tum,
Ah.
tum.
¿has aprendido?
Después de la comida, vamos a bailar, ¿eh?
Bueno.
I'm going to teach him after dinner. This looks beautiful. Bueno, nos quedan a cocinar el pato ahora.
Exactamente.
All that's left is to cook the duck. Entonces se cocina en un sartén
sartén.
por un minuto.
Por un minuto.
It cooks in a frying pan for 1 minute
Y luego en el horno durante 2 minutos más.
at a high heat, and then is placed in the oven at 250 degrees for 2 more minutes. Y ya.
Y después lo dejamos descansar 2 minutos.
Bueno, and then you let it sit for 2 more minutes outside of the oven to rest. Then we eat. Bueno, me voy a preparar para comer. I'm going to go get ready for dinner. No olvides sus zapatos de baile, ¿eh?
No, por favor.
I told him not to forget his dancing shoes. I'm going to hold him to it. Bueno, nos vemos pronto.
Pronto.
Gracias, ¿eh?
No, de nada.
riquísimo. ¿Le gustan comer lo que hacen?
Normalmente no lo comemos.
No,
pero-
en serio, ¿no? You never eat what you make. I'm sitting with Rodrigo and Juan Pedro, co-owners of Nectarine. ¿Es un plato argentino esto? I'm a little confused. This is Argentinian?
Sí, digamos que sí, pero tiene por ahí, está hecho con productos argentinos,
Ajá.
con alguna técnica francesa.
Ah, lo sabía. It is an Argentinian dish. However, it has French flavor and techniques thrown in. Está riquísimo.
Bueno, me alegra.
Bueno, seguro, you have to try this. So here are the recipes. Fantástico. To make Nectarine's duck confit sandwich, first trim the legs from the duck. Then cover them with coarse salt and thyme and place in the fridge for several hours. While the duck is curing, prepare the plum compote. Take slices of plum and cook them in water flavored with sugar and anise. Then take the cured legs and place them in liquefied duck fat and simmer on low heat for 3 to 4 hours. You'll know the duck is done when the meat separates easily from the bone. To complete the sandwich, pile the meat on puff pastry, layer with plum compote, and serve. Oh, las batatas son ricos, ¿eh?
Son dulces.
Gracias.
Bastante feo.
What a wonderful time I've had in Buenos Aires with my new friends, having dinner, learning new recipes. Also visiting La Boca in San Telmo, where tango was born, tangoing my way through the streets. And of course, Jorge's paintings. How incredible was that? Bueno, yo quiero brindar. I would like to toast
Muchas gracias por estar acá.
to the city, to you, y su restaurante.
Muchas gracias.
Buena suerte.
Igualmente.
Salud. Argentine tango is truly an international form. It's a combination of African rhythms, native music of the Pampas, Italian melodies, and the plaintive sound of the German accordion, the bandoneon, the hallmark of tango music. At the height of its popularity, lowly musicians became national stars overnight. In the late 1940s, Juan and Eva Perón held lavish tango parties, making it a bona fide dance craze. After Vita's death in 1952, tango fell out of favor. But today, with the growing popularity of ballroom dance, the tango is experiencing a revival around the world. It's really the beginning of a new golden age.